Meeting will now come to order, and the chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilman Harris.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Avery.
Here.
Eccles.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present. Our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Brian Harbison to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Almighty God, we thank you today for the blessings of life, for the opportunity to be here, for the freedom that we have. God, let us not take that for granted. Be with our servicemen around the world as they provide this freedom and the cover for which we're able to be here today. God, I pray that you'll be with the council, give them wisdom as they make the important decisions that will affect this city. Thank you for your blessings on Gadsden. I pray that God will keep our focus on you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There you go. Hey, I see the blind mouse.
I like that background music with a prayer, didn't you? Very nice.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and the city council meeting held on August the 12th.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
Chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of the accounts for the week of August the 8th through the 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamations, Mayor? Unfinished business. A resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property at 321 Wilson Street in District 6. The last known owners are Christy L. Link. This resolution was tabled for 30 days on July the 15th. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. President, I'd ask for a 14-day table on this piece of property. Ms. Links called me early this morning and said that within 14 days she would have this piece of property brought up to code.
Second.
I think they're planning on moving in this piece of property.
Sorry.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to table the resolution for 14 days, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to table for 14 days.
This is a time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing, allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of a resolution ordering abatement of nuisance on property located at 1523 Gadsden Avenue in District 3. The last known owners are Monroe Bud Cameron and the estate of Otis Jester in care of Robina C. Jester, personal representative. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of it?
Mr. President, I'm Brian Harbison with the Building Department. We started this case involving a mobile home in February of 2013. There have been no improvements to the property. There are no permits to improve, and we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of it? Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
10 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with the Gadsden Runners Club. This is for the city to sponsor the Gadsden's Rock and Run to be held October the 4th, 2014. The amount is $2,500 to be set aside in the 15 budget. Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
11 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with the Alabama Department of Transportation. This is for Americans with Disabilities Act compliant sidewalk improvements throughout the city. The total estimated cost is $500,000, with a federal funding of $400,000 and a cost to the city of $100,000. Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, I forgot to ask upstairs, the engineer. You know, we talked about the entrance out at Carver for the disability, people in wheelchairs and stuff in the museum and everything. Did we look to see if this could possibly come up under this, or do we have funds to do that?
Yes, sir. We're looking at doing that internally. This grant, you'd have to have pre-approved right-of-way
Okay.
using the federal funds, so
Okay.
it would have to have been in the original application.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion? Chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution. Is
So moved.
Second.
there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The following is a first reading of 12 through 15. They are ordinances amending community development block grant budgets for the fiscal year 2011 through 2014. You gonna do something, Robert?
Mr. President,
Deborah is.
if there are no objections, I'd like to ask that we suspend the rules and consider these items today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
All right, we have a motion and second, and this covers all four ordinances.
Right.
Those in favor of considering the four ordinances today under the first reading, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we have a unanimous vote for consideration.
Move for passage.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, essentially what we have is we have four items that were brought up today initially for first readings. Two are transferring funds from the 2011 community development budget to the current budget for a splash pad project for East Gadsden Community Center. And then one other item is to address street improvements or paving projects on 5 different streets.
I'd like to show you the outline and the
Okay.
thing up here. That's okay.
We don't have anything over on the east side, the rec center, the pool is closed. This one down here is so popular, this is really the better, so the bigger. Rooms. Small. There's a couple of digs around, we can't see it. We decided to do this engineering part, and have the funds back here.
This is something that we can do this winter. Our plans are to open it in 2015. It does have 2 recreational areas here, one for the 5 through 12 area, one for the under 5 age group. This is adjacent to an existing playground, so we may, after talking with the mayor, we may look at revitalizing it just a little bit too, but add restroom facilities and of course, the room needed to recirculate the water and put chemicals in and all. And that, some of that will work will be done in-house. So,
We don't do the rest of we have in order. Charge it. Just down here.
and one thing that's not mentioned, it was the 2 pavilions that will be put in at one at Starnes Park and one at County Court with that money that y'all are.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you, Mayor. And one thing I did want to highlight is, you know, you always want to seize the opportunity for community input. And for those of you that didn't know, there was some discussion as far back as probably 18 months ago regarding what we could and could potentially do there. There was some discussion about basketball courts and lightings and things of that nature. And part of the feedback that we got from the community is that there were a number of people that didn't necessarily want that kind of activity. And so this is more in line with what people want. The same thing at Campbell Court. We talked about that some last week. Campbell Court and Starnes Park. The Housing Authority did a great job of surveying their residents to determine what they truly wanted. And it was determined after processing all of the information that the gazebos was probably the best route to take. So again, the community buy-in is important on these kinds of projects, and that's a theme you're going to see going forward with a lot of our projects. It's just understanding that the community buy-in element is very, very important.
Also, Mr. Williams and Mr. President, as you saw, the splash pad is being erected at East Gadsden Recreation Center, and it will serve all the kids in that immediate area, which would include District 1 and District 2. District 1 doesn't have a recreational center, so this is as close to our district as we can get, and we'll have some water activity for our kids in the East Gadsden, Litchfield, Green Pasture area to help them to get through the summer. So this is a joint project. It's going to serve both districts, and I hope that we can really, really appreciate this only water facility that we'll have at East Gadsden. Also, Stern Park and Campbell Court. Those people in those housing units had really asked for some, back as Councilman Williams said, about 18 months ago, or maybe even longer, that they were trying to get some more recreational, some more playground type activities. Upon meeting with them and the other people in the community, they decided that, well, these housing units are primarily for seniors, ex-seniors, and they really wouldn't want to promote playground type activities in there. So they came up with the best idea to put a pavilion there so they can enjoy it year round in those units. So these are two win-win situations for the citizens in those two apartment complexes.
Councilman Harris, in that, what you were just saying about districts over there, this splash park will be for everyone in the whole city. The one down here at Marina Park, I go down here all the time with my grandkids, and it's full. Every time I go down there, it's full. You have to stand up most of the time. And I'm glad to see that this one's going to be sectioned off for littler kids, because down here where the other one is, there's kids of all ages down there, and they're running. Bigger kids are running, and little kids really need something, for them too down there. I think this is old saying, if you build it, they will come, and I think they will come to this.
They will. They will.
No, we've got one over behind the Family Success Center. It's on 9th Street, first block off. That's right. And it's the same kind as the one down in the park down here. And it's very well used. It keeps the street clean because the water runs down the gutters and cleans the gutters out. I guess it fills up all the...
I've seen some of the parents down here, it's a pretty good idea when it's about 100. We're just sitting out there on the bottom with their clothes on, getting wet watching the kids play. So that's not bad for the adults either.
Okay. Where are we?
We need to vote
Take
on
the vote.
those.
Huh?
We're ready to vote, I think.
Yeah, we're ready to vote? Okay, let's vote.
Those in favor to adopt all 4 ordinances, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt all 4.
New business, is there any new business?
Mr. President, I'll start out on this end. I have a resolution that I would like to ask for unanimous consent to consider today. It's a resolution authorizing the application and acceptance of the Alabama Public Library Services Grant for fiscal year 2014-15.
Second.
Clerk?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, I'll let Amanda Jackson from our library tell us exactly what this resolution does for us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a $20,000 grant from the Library Services and Technology Act to the State Library in Montgomery, Alabama. It comes with a $5,000 match. We're going to use county funds to do that. And it's basically an extension of a grant that we had gotten several years ago. There are a lot of people in Gadsden who have very important stories to tell, a lot of histories here that we don't want forgotten as time passes. So this is an opportunity for us to continue to share those stories, to digitize those stories, and to take stories that have already been recorded in the 1970s. Bobby Junkins did a real big push on that with cassettes to move those forward, digitize them, and make them available online. Thank you.
Amanda, I wanted to say, the library is probably the busiest place in town. I mean, from, 8 to whatever time y'all close?
We're open 9 to 5, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 9 to 7.
Okay. One day you might want to give us some figures, like in a month's time, how many people come through there. It's amazing.
I can absolutely do that. Actually,
Yeah.
this summer, we did over 50 activities in
Right.
just June and July and saw over 3,000 children.
Yeah.
So we just finished up a real busy season for us.
Right.
Very good.
That's a good place to go. Thank you.
Amanda, can you, are you at liberty to talk about a coffee shop, or should we not talk about that just yet?
We probably want to wait on giving away all of our secrets at the same time. Sometimes I like to keep things, but we do have some really exciting things. We're always on the move, always looking for the next best exciting thing in library services to bring new people into the library and to serve the library patrons that are already there. So we've got some
Stay
things.
tuned, there's some good news coming.
We do, definitely.
Everybody be excited about it.
Thank you so much. And I also wanted to mention that we have the Small Business Expo at Convention Hall today from noon until 6.
This is a $5,000 match, and the county is paying that, so thank the county. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's very appropriate that the county is giving the $5,000 match, and that the library serves the whole county and not just the city of Gadsden.
We do.
Very appropriate. Okay.
Amanda, it's okay for you to, and I think that's very kind of you to refer to Bobby Junkins and his oral history being recorded on cassette tapes, because if Mr. Junkins was involved, it's probably going to be 8 tracks that they were recording.
No, you said that. I didn't say that.
You just got yourself in trouble.
No, but he's correct. The interview I did was on 8 track.
And he won't argue. He won't argue at all.
All right.
Okay.
Did we vote on it yet?
No, we really.
We haven't voted, but we can do that right now.
Let's do that.
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Any other new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have a handful of stuff here that I'd like to ask for us to consider today, the first of which is a resolution awarding bid number 3270 to McCartney Construction for the Black Creek Road Drainage Project.
Second.
Those in favor to consider the resolution today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, this is this again is bid number 3270. It's a bid for $120,143 for McCartney Construction, again, to conduct paving work, or, I'm sorry, road drainage work for the Black Creek Road Drainage Project.
Any other discussion? Clerk, you take the vote.
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Mr. President, I referenced a handful. I have several resolutions that I'd like to ask for consideration today all at once. They're all relative to public service agencies, so I'd like to ask that we consider today resolutions for agreements with the Berry Center, Gadsden Commercial Development, Family Success Center, DGI, or Downtown Gadsden, MANA, Way of the Cross Ministries, the Council on Aging, the Love Center, and that's it.
That's it.
I'd like to ask that we consider that today.
Second.
Is there any discussion? This is the monies that we have to fight for every year. It's federal money, comes to the community development. And he didn't read the figures. If there's anywhere from 18,000 to 5,000 to all, to these people that really need the money, or we need it. We need to keep after it every year.
More than happy to read them.
No, it was monies that we've already approved anyway in the budget for community development, so.
But there has to be an accompanying agreement with each of them.
Yeah, this is an accompanying agreement with them, yeah.
Okay.
Those in favor to consider all 8 resolutions today under new business, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt all 8 resolutions, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt all 8 resolutions.
Is there any other new business?
You there? Okay. Mr. President, I have one. It's an ordinance, 233. It's an ordinance assenting to annexation of property of Roger and Roberta Watts at 1515 Bellevue Drive.
Second.
And just ask for unanimous consent to consider.
Second.
Clerk, you take the vote.
Those in favor to consider the ordinance today under new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we have a unanimous vote for consideration.
Okay, move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
We're growing our city one house at a time.
No, we're regrowing our city one house at a time in this case. So that's very good.
How many houses have we bought back in under this? Anybody have an idea count?
I think this is the 4th.
This is the
so
4th?
far.
Did three 2 weeks ago.
How many of them were there? Tell them about
20
how
something.
we came about these.
In preparing for the municipal election that's coming up next week, we reviewed all of the streets in the city. We had to rework our street index because of redistricting that we had to make sure that everything was correctly implemented, moving our voters and getting them into the right places. And I'll blame it on good technology, better tools to work with. And we discovered some residences that had previously thought to be in the city but were actually not when you take a little close look at the city limits lines. And so I wrote letters to about 48 voters. They were individually addressed because my concern was with the voting. Not quite that many households, probably 20-something households, maybe between 20 and 30 would have been involved. And so some of the owners do want to receive city services and to be able to participate in city government, so we are receiving some applications for annexation. And any others, if they received a letter, you're more than welcome to apply for annexation. For a residential annexation, there is no fee. It's a free application process, and you contact the Planning and Engineering Department on the 3rd floor. Tina Cody is the zoning administrator, and so she would receive those applications.
Thank you, Ira.
Very good.
Is there any other new business?
Did we vote?
We need to vote.
Okay, we need to vote on this one?
Yes,
Okay, take a vote.
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any other new business? Department reports, committees, boards?
Mr. President, just briefly, I would like to remind everyone, all of our citizens that are not going to be able to go to the polls on Election Day, this Thursday, the 21st of August, will be the last day that I can issue a regular absentee ballot. So if you're going to be out of town, probably the most convenient thing to do is to stop by the city clerk's office and fill out your application and your ballot all at the same time. For those that it's difficult to get to the polls, we can process it by mail. I would suggest that you get that application to me as quickly as possible. Although I can still issue them on Thursday, it gets a little tricky in forwarding that ballot and receiving it back within the specified time. So just a quick reminder about that.
What about people in the hospital?
There are provisions, if something is unforeseen, if somebody is fine, walking around fine today, but after my deadline closes for the absentee balloting, if they're admitted to the hospital, there is an emergency process that can be followed. The physician would have to complete part of their application, but we would deal with those, between now and the election day if that arises.
Okey-doke. Is there any other department reports? Citizens' request?
Chad?
Buster?
You better speak up, son.
Yes, sir. I apologize. I didn't get with Councilman Stewart earlier to see if he wanted me to announce this or not, but,
Yes, I was going to.
yeah. I just wanted to announce to the council that the Hickory Street Bridge that has been out for some time now will be bid on September the 9th at 2 p.m. Just wanted to make that announcement. This bridge was a little bit of a different situation. We have several bridges now that are in the design process, but we don't have to close those bridges while they're in the design process. It's just when they deteriorate to a certain point, they, of course, get on our list. You start seeing tonnage and weight limits on the bridges. This particular bridge, we discovered in the field, was on a yearly inspection list, and we discovered it in the field that some of the timber supports had actually mushroomed in the field, and so we took immediate action for public safety purposes to shut the bridge down, and waited at that point until the Department of Transportation came in and reviewed it for us. And so anyway, when they came in, they decided to shut the bridge down indefinitely until improvements have been made. So I understand there's an inconvenience there, the fact that it's been shut down for some time, but we started the design process immediately after that. And so anyway, this coming up, September the 9th, and then it'll be approximately 6 to 8 weeks after that where contracts be signed and bonds be signed that we can start construction. Just wanted to make that announcement.
Okay. Any others? Okay, citizens' request, bus reports, musical Mondays.
Good morning.
Good
morning.
You know, it has been my personal experience that the best time to give out praises and progress is during a political season. And this is a political season. But my name is Buster Porch. I live at 907 Maryland. That's 907 Maryland from Tuesday to Sunday. But on Monday, the water wall between the Pittman Theater and the Senior Citizen Activity Center. My purpose today is just to give an update on Musical Monday at the water wall. And I've never asked, but that's the water wall is a name that I put on it. What is the real name of it? But, you know, this 2014 is the third year that I've been doing jazz music at the water wall. And initially, it was me, my partner Johnny T, and a few close friends. There was no umbrellas to avoid the sun. And brother, it is hot in Alabama in the summertime. But thanks to K Moore, DGI, and the city of Gadsden, we now have umbrellas in all tables. I think it's about 12 different umbrellas, so everybody's in the shade now. Each table has its own personal umbrellas. You don't have to worry about sharing with someone else. Curly DeRamus, he's not here today. Hey, come on up here, Curly. Don't be standing in the back. Curly DeRamus, I call him Chef Curly. He approached Kay Moore and asked about free hot dogs. And thanks to Councilman Ben Reed, initially gave money to start the free hot dogs. And then Mayor Gadsden, thank you, to give us money for the rest of the year. Now there are free curly dogs and free chicken wings. I said wings, I didn't say wings. And drinks. So just today, my object is just to thank each and every one who has made my journey into music a little more happy, because it at least relieve my neighbors from hearing my music all day. At least one day they don't hear it. So they thank you also. I thank Ben Reed, Mayor Gadsden, Corey from the Parks and Rec, who supplied the drinks. Like I said, we have free curly dogs, free chicken wings, and free drinks. But today is I just want to notify my musical fans, Musical Monday fan, that we are going to be closed next to because of holidays and Labor Day. But we will be returning on September the 8th. That's Musical Mondays. That's Monday, every Monday at 11:30 to 1:30 at the Water Wall. And I thank you. Everyone has made this a wonderful musical Monday. Totally wonderful, and I am just so happy that one of my loves is being heard by other people. Thank you so very much, the city, the public, and everyone. Yes,
Mayor, I got one question. Is Curly cooking or eating those hot dogs? I'm sorry.
Mayor, that's where I learned to do that, by eating. But I still like to say that I love to give back to not just my city, but my surroundings. And I counted a blessing from my mom, because that's what she done. And she passed it on, and I appreciate her for that.
We appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
We do.
It's a little cold train.
Okay,
You recognize?
we appreciate you, Buster.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Next is Joseph Cole, who wants to talk about city personnel, and thank you to the council. Please
Good morning.
state your name and address to the city clerk.
Good morning.
Joseph Cole, 3851 Kenner Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. Maybe in a couple of weeks I'll be giving a Gadsden, Alabama address. I don't have any music in my background, but I will not rain on your parade. Mr. President and the mayor and the council, 2 weeks ago I was here to bring up some issues, one dealing with public comment, and from meeting with you and the discussions and everything that you stated, I went back and told the citizens of Gadsden that there is no issue here as far as giving public comment. And I also want to commend Councilman Cannon. I had spoken to one of your constituents, and I told him, I said, you can see him. It's not a problem talking with him. And you did see her and was able to help her. So I just wanted to commend the council on that, because in the community, people were thinking that they could not come up here and speak. And as long as we can communicate with each other, no matter whether we agree or disagree, we can work out issues. But you have to give people the right to speak, and that you have done. And I just want to thank you for that. Mr. Mayor, I also requested some information from you the last time I was here, and you advised me to go to personnel and get that information. I did, and I want to say that your staff was very courteous and professional, and everyone that I have come in contact with at City Hall has most definitely been courteous and professional. And your director, Mr. Gladden, I spoke with him. I've also opened the door, had some got some candidates for the police department and also the fire department, which I think is very good. And also to know that it hasn't been an issue with you. In the past, they wouldn't hire, but it's not an issue with you. You want to do, but the way the law is set up, it's under the Civil Service Board. But I do want to thank you for that and thank the council and also your staff. Before I sit down, I have one final issue. For the past 10 days, 11 days, Donald Watkins and I have been working with some women groups in Alabama and also Georgia, dealing with the arrest of Mark Fuller. Mark Fuller is a federal judge, a powerful federal judge in Montgomery, who on last weekend was arrested in Atlanta for beating his wife. And we have urged for his removal or for him to resign the bench. The 11th Circuit did take all of his cases from him. And the reason I bring that up, I had posted this on Facebook, and someone from Gadsden called me and told me that one of Gadsden officials has also been guilty of spousal abuse and violence on women. Now, I'm very passionate about that, and this is not about race. Judge Fuller is a white individual, rich white judge, and the individual they told me about was black. See, this is not about politics. It's not about black and white. It's about right and wrong. No man has a right to put his hands on a woman. I'm sure you have wives, you have daughters, some of you have grandkids. And Mr. Mayor and the council, I think the citizens of Gadsden need to know today how y'all stand on spousal abuse and also violence on women. I told the individual that I do not deal in innuendo and I would not disparage anyone's character because I know this is political season, and in Gadsden it can get very rough. But I was not going to be a part of that. But I did tell them that if I got the facts, whoever the individual was, I would come out publicly and ask for their resignation. Mr. Mayor and Council, I have respect for you and your position, and I have respect for all of you as men. And the scripture said, to whom much is given, much is required. So I just want to tell you this, if I do get the facts, and I'm not out looking, I'm not searching, that any official in this city is beating up on women, I will publicly come and ask for their resignation. Thank you for this opportunity. Y'all have a good day, and good luck on your elections next year.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Remarks by the mayor and the council. Mayor, you want to start?
Of course, next Tuesday is election day. There's, I don't get on Facebook, Derek, but people keep sending me stuff. I'm not going to say anything, but I guess you can get on there and pretty much say about anything you want to, it seems like. But anyway, I just ask that you look at all the qualifications, look at all the work history, and make a decision and vote for who you want to next Tuesday. But go vote.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Would you speak out on your feelings for the spousal abuse and violence on women? Your stance? What is your stance?
Speak out on your stand on spousal
I have a wife and a daughter and a sister. I'm definitely not in favor of spousal abuse, I assure you.
Well, Mr. Coles, I'll ditto that. I have a wife and I have a beautiful wife and two beautiful daughters, and I do not tolerate spousal or child abuse under any circumstances, anywhere, anytime. There's no place for it in our society. I'm sorry. And those persons who are guilty of it should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel, and I will not apologize for that stand. And like the mayor said, next week is election time, and you know, those of you who are going to be going to the polls to vote, and I hope that's every registered voter in the city of Gadsden, exercise your right to vote. Go out and vote. Vote for the candidate that you choose to vote for, and not one that someone is encouraging you to vote for. You choose the person you want to be in office, and not because they are being supported by any one organization or any one person, anything else. Vote your choice. Vote the person you want to be in office. And that being said, we had a good meeting last night in District 1. Had good attendance. One of the things I did last night in our meeting was well attended, and I read off the list of streets that are being resurfaced in District 1, and I'll read them out now so that all the people in the city of Gadsden, District 1 will know where we're coming from, Chad, with our resurfacing in the city of Gadsden in District 1. Newman Lane, Colorado Street, Camden Cove, Peyton Ridge Avenue, Cloverdale Road, Litchfield Avenue, all the way from 431, all the way from Hoke Street to 431, Beverly Drive, Calhoun Drive, and Sizemore Street. Those are the streets that have been approved to be resurfaced in this year's resurfacing projects for the city of Gadsden in District 1. So if you aren't on there and they're done by priority, we will start again, Chad, the list for next year. As soon as we get into the fiscal year, we'll start compiling the list.
We never stop. So
Never stop.
That's right. So
Thank
he
you.
can, if you have one that needs to be added to the list, absolutely give us a call.
And actually, I gave Chad another one this morning, so, we are on your resurfacing project, so thank you. That's all oh, one more thing, I'm sorry, I'm about to forget. It's discouraging when you ride around the city and you see, this is silly season, political season, and we have evidence of people, like Johnny had the serious problem, people vandalizing signs, and we just said that there's no place for that in the city of Gadsden. We also have a situation where some people are removing some candidate signs and putting up other signs in people's yards and on right-of-ways, and I think it's just a sad day when we stoop to those type of antics, by removing a person's sign, regardless what position they are running for, where they are, or what district, or whatever. And we've had that happen in East Gadsden, and we know the person who's doing it, who has done it. I want them to know that we know it. We just don't have the proof, the evidence that to take them to court yet. But when we get the evidence, if we get the evidence, brother, I believe you me, we will prosecute you for removing anybody's sign that you are not authorized to remove. Thank you.
Derek?
Thank you, Mr. President. And as I said last week, I've got a remedy for that sign issue, and it will come up after the election, I can assure you.
I'll go for it.
Absolutely. So on the issue of spousal abuse and abuse of women, I am absolutely, I witnessed some, within my family, witnessed some abusive scenarios growing up, and I can tell you I have a wife that I've been married to for 20 years and 2 teenage daughters. Don't condone it at all. So I want to be clear about that. Thank you, Mr. Porch, for a little taste of Coltrane. I appreciate that. I did. I am actually old enough to have picked up on that, so I definitely appreciate that. That was a nice touch. Again, one of the things I do want to highlight with the election season, it's important for people to know that public input into our political process is paramount, and because of that, you see an artist rendering of a project that speaks to the level of the level that public input can play into the development of a project. But probably the biggest method by which the public can provide its input is by showing up at the polls and voting. People have fought and died for that right, and regardless, when you are knocking on doors and talking to people, most of it is very positive. I'm always excited to talk to people and just kind of hear their feedback. But the one thing that's discouraging is when you get those one-off situations where somebody says, well, I don't vote. And for whatever that reason may be, whether it's because they are a convicted felon or because they have chosen to check out, it's always disheartening because too many people have sweat, died, and bled for that right. So those of us that have the physical capacity, that have the right, and aren't impeded in any other way, want to encourage you, please go out and vote on next Tuesday. The last thing I wanted to bring up is the unemployment rate. 7%, I think, is where we are. Pretty, it's up a little bit from the last time that information was captured. I gave an interview here not too long ago, and I think in speaking to what full employment is, full employment generally is from 0 to 4%, and so I wanted to be clear. 7% is the unemployment rate here in the county. We are a lot better off in terms of our unemployment rate than a lot of areas are, and I want to be clear about that. However, we understand that 7% is not where we want to be, and so I think you'll see, and I know you will see, some movement in the direction of industrial recruitment that's going to help the city of Gadsden and Etowah County move in a positive direction as it relates to that. So just stay tuned. And the beauty of a lot of that activity is it has absolutely nothing to do with politics, and that's the beauty of a lot of that activity. Take it from someone from a business perspective who sits on the other side of that quite often. Has absolutely nothing to do with politics. I can tell you that I don't care who's sitting in a council seat or in the mayor's office when we're having those discussions. So again, it's important to note that. Don't overstate the importance of a politician when you're talking about job growth. They do have a role, don't get me wrong, but please don't overstate the importance of a politician when you're talking about job growth and job improvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, we talk about the issue, and I guess we want everybody to comment about spousal abuse. Well, I'm totally opposed to it, but I'm opposed to any kind of abuse, whether it's spousal abuse or any other kind of abuse. We had a situation over in Ferguson, Missouri, and that's abuse, and I'm opposed to that. So you can't be in favor of one and be opposed to something else. That's why I have a problem putting my arms around folk who, I guess they call them pro-choice. They're opposed to abortion, but they favor the death penalty. I got a problem with that. I'm opposed to the death penalty. I'm opposed to killing babies. How can you be opposed to one and favor another one? We got to be consistent in our lives and in our positions. So, yes, I'm opposed to it, no matter what it is and who it is. One announcement, my district meeting will be this Thursday at 5 o'clock at the Carver Community Center. This is one of many. It's been said that can't get in touch with me, and I'm on the road and I'm gone. I've had a district meeting every month I've been in office, with the exception of 2 months. And then if you add those months where I had 2 meetings or 3 meetings, you add those together, and then I'm pretty sure I average out a meeting a month. So this Thursday, if you can't find me, if you hadn't been able to get in touch with me, I'll be at Carver Community Center at 5 o'clock. That's all I have.
Lord, Joseph, all my boys are girls. I've got a beautiful wife and 3 girls and 1 granddaughter, and I'm proud of all of them.
If you try Sunday, we'll see.
I've just been married 65 years, so you can tell we're a close family, and I'm opposed to any kind. The Barry Center and for the children abuse has been one of my big things. So we're in the Family Success Center.
That's why it's named after you. I said, that's why it's named after you. I mean, yeah, that was one of your pet peeves. You fought for that. Absolutely.
That's right. So I don't think people need to be fighting. It's a lot more fun to be loving than it is to be fighting.
That's right. Absolutely.
Bill?
Oh, spousal abuse. I lost my wife about 5 years ago in a car accident, and I was married for over 50 years, never touched a woman, and certainly wouldn't be opposed to anybody that, any kind of violence really, but certainly violence against a woman is not acceptable in any circumstance. I want to thank Chad and the work he's doing, pushing that Hickory Street Bridge as hard as we can, and thank the people that use that road for their patience. I know it's been a long time, it's been a long process, but we're getting there. Going to let the bid September the 9th, and should get that bridge going here in a few months. Just appreciate everybody's patience. That's all I have.
Johnny?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm too opposed to spousal abuse. I have a wife that I love dearly, 2 granddaughters, a daughter-in-law and a son, and I think any man that chooses to beat up on any woman is not a man. And if they don't like that, they can come see me, and I'll tell them to their face they're not a man. I'll be married 34 years this Saturday. Time flies when you're having fun. That's what I tell everybody. My wife's my best friend, my best partner. We never have a minute's trouble. And I just think you're not a man if you got to beat up on a lady. That's my point about all that. I do want to say this next Tuesday, we're supposed to have a District 6 council meeting, which will be the 26th. It will be election night for all of District 6. The party will not be at Banks Park. It'll be at number 7 Winona. It'll be an election night party, so just come over and enjoy it. Everybody's welcome to come. We got entertainment and everything, so just show up there. I want to thank everyone also that came Saturday night to Music on Megan. It was a huge success. We're going to kind of revamp and remap that for next year and see how we can make it even better.
Each council member can now collect $100 for their campaign account.
I'll take mine today with me.
The president.
That's okay.
I do want to thank everyone that's here in attendance today. I know Facebook is rapid. Everybody's talking on Facebook. They're doing this, they're doing that, what they're doing. They're talking about candidates. Please just get out next Tuesday and vote. Vote your conscience. Vote for the best person you think is qualified for the job. Whether you read it in the newspaper, you hear it on the media, just take it for yourself. Know what everybody's done for you, what they're going to do for you. And if you think there's any rumors out there that's not correct, see one of us up here. Or see anybody. If something was in the paper that you don't think is correct, go to that person and ask them. Say, hey, why did you put this in here for a reason? And what's the story behind it? If anybody wants to do that, I'll be welcome to answer any questions after the council meeting about what I said in the paper. And I appreciate every one of y'all. Thank you.
Billy, congratulations on your advance CMO. I wanted to say that. We talked about that last week, I believe, when you were gone, but now that you're back, there was something about time. There's something about time. Yeah.
A lot shorter
So we
Course
back
it-
on,
last
we back
week than
on
this
now,
week.
10 and 12 o'clock.
Goes without saying, go vote next Tuesday. We'll be talking about that all the way through until it's time to go vote, but vote your choice. That's all in the world you have to do. Joe, I've been married 56 years. I got 2 sons, one's 6'8", 270, one of them 6'4", 240. I ain't about to touch that woman. I'm gonna tell you something. She has got a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson shield right by the bed. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But I'm gonna tell you something else without a threat of that, and this is the gospel truth. A man that'll touch a child ought to be shot on the spot.
Amen.
I mean, don't go to court with him. Cut him off, put him away, and be done with it. Okay? That's about as flat as I can say that. Okay. Buster and Curly, y'all added a bunch. I guarantee you, people always run around saying ain't nowhere to go. Well, if I can't go, I'm knocking doors. I swear I am. But I hope y'all enjoy it, because everybody that I see says they're really enjoying it, and I appreciate y'all doing that so much. I really do. That's all I got.
Okay, due to the City of Gadsden's municipal election on August 26th, council meeting will be held on Wednesday, August the 27th. The work session will begin at 10 a.m. and the council meeting at 11 a.m. If there's not anything else, this meeting is adjourned.